Hello, and welcome to the latest in our environmental policy video series. In each of these collections of bite-sized videos, we'll be bringing environmental science insights into the world of policy in 10 minutes or less. Over the course of this series, we'll be confronting a profound reality. The decisions we make now will be historic ones, and they will decide the stories we tell to generations to come about the fight against climate change. Our video series on climate action and transformative change will revisit the institution's work ahead of the COP26 Climate Summit, delving into the details of our Manifesto for Transformative Change and the 54 recommendations it sets out for global climate action, as well as the analysis and evidence to support them. As the series goes on, we'll learn more about the ways in which climate change has been caused by complex interactions between social, economic, and natural systems. We'll also learn how we can employ systems thinking approaches to achieve multiple benefits for the environment, society, and the economy. That should remind us of the crucial role that science has to play in providing the evidence people need to understand the outcomes of different options and the potential to create a future which improves all our lives. Our transition away from climate change will need to be backed by credible monetary support, so our financial systems need clarity about what works before they can proceed. As we will learn later in the series, businesses can also drive change through new business models, principles like ESG, and sector-by-sector strategies, though we need to ensure that the actions of private actors are credible and transparent. The message from consumers is clear. Sustainable businesses will be rewarded, and those that do not take sustainability seriously will be left behind. We know we need to move away from carbon-intensive energy production, though different approaches will be required in different places. If we're going to succeed, we need to deliver far more renewable energy sources and to share knowledge with countries and communities around the world. One of the greatest assets in the battle against climate change is an engaged global public that wants to be part of achieving climate ambitions. Not only can communities share evidence of what works on the ground through approaches like co-production and just transition, which we'll discuss later in the series, they can drive forward change that avoids injustice or communities being left behind. Our natural world is complex, and it shapes our lives and livelihoods in many ways. We can achieve multiple benefits when we draw on the natural world, so multifunctional approaches, such as nature-based solutions, will be crucial. At times, turning to fundamental ecological principles, like the mitigation hierarchy, will be the best way to proceed. And humanity must seek a better relationship with the natural world, which gives us so much of what our society needs. We need to design things better to create a more sustainable economy. During this series, we will discuss the circular economy, which can help us achieve our climate goals, address the unsustainable production and consumption which underpins business models, and give consumers a way to support that transition. Greater transparency, regulation, and consumer choice must be at the heart of shifting the burden of our economy away from materials and unsustainable pressures on nature. Even as we push for greater mitigation, climate change already has real consequences for communities, so we need to be more resilient to the effects of climate change. That means having a better understanding of risk and the ways our economy and society create it. We need to rethink how we use land and produce food if we're going to meet the dual goals of climate mitigation and creating sustainable and resilient food systems. Science must be at the heart of our action to combat climate change, and innovation is crucial to delivering new solutions and improving existing ones. Innovation also requires everyone to be playing by the same rules so that businesses are willing to invest. Ultimately, robust science based on systematic reviews of evidence can tell us about the risks and rewards of taking different approaches so that people can choose the future after climate change that they want to see. The ways we get around are shaped by cost, speed, and demand, so we need to make active travel options accessible and widespread for shorter journeys. Those choices need to be affordable and realistic, both in cities and the countryside. Governments should help businesses to create strategies to decarbonize each sector, particularly sectors like freight and aviation, where decarbonisation will be harder to achieve. Cities, regions, and local authorities will play a crucial role in the climate transition as they act on the front lines. Knowledge sharing, environmental monitoring, and innovation all have the potential to transform communities, but they need appropriate funding, sufficient capacity, and widespread cooperation to achieve that goal. When future generations hear stories about the fight against climate change, they cannot be stories of inaction or inertia. As we act, how can we ensure that the stories told by our actions are about ambition? How can we stay committed to seeing our aspirations materialize through transformative change? We'll be answering those questions and more as we continue with this IES policy series on climate action and transformative change. But if you want to get an inside track on the answers, you can read all about it in our landmark Manifesto for Transformative Change, which is available on the IES website. If you want to support our work on science-led climate action, you can become an affiliate, or if you're a professional in the environmental sector working with science, consider becoming a member of the IES. You'll find a link to our Manifesto for Transformative Change in the details below, along with our social media and a link to the IES website. Make sure you follow us across platforms so that you're up to date with all of our latest events, videos, and CPD opportunities. And remember to like the video, share it with friends and colleagues, and let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. Join us again for another short video in our policy series on climate action and transformative change. But for now, thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon.